The Sun Life Ride to Defeat Diabetes for JDRF has gone virtual this year to raise funds for type 1 diabetes. It's a chance for some team building with coworkers. It's fun for the family, and there's also some friendly competition while you're at it. Participants can either spin on a stationary bike, take a fitness class, or stretch doing yoga. Joining us to tell us more is Jonathan Peretz, who is the chair of the Toronto Ride. Thank you so much for joining us, Jonathan.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You know, I know that you've been participating in this ride for 10 years. The fact that it went virtual this year, let's talk a little bit about that. I actually feel like, based on what you have planned here, that it's very conducive to being at home.
You know what? I have to give credit to Dave Prown, the CEO, Irina and her team, and our committee and all of the volunteers for doing a phenomenal job of taking the energy of what the ride is and bringing it virtual. So people are going to have the choice this year. They can sign up to do a virtual yoga class, they can sign up to do a virtual cycle class, or they can sign up to do a virtual workout.
And I should mention that you actually have a personal connection to type 1 diabetes in your family. Tell us a little bit more about that, but also some of the challenges people who have type 1 diabetes face.
I do. And, you know, this is a disease that affects over 300,000 Canadians living with type 1 diabetes. And an interesting fact, 75% of those diagnosed with the disease were diagnosed as children. And my wife was one of those, where she was diagnosed at the age of 13. She's been living with it for many years. We have 3 beautiful children. But even going through the pregnancy, going through, you know, having our children, all of that, she had to really manage her sugars, and she did an excellent job doing that. But it definitely, it controls your life. You have to be aware of your body. You have to be aware of a lot of things.
And that's why this fundraiser is so important in terms of raising money. I know that in the past, you've done a lot when it comes to raising money for research. Tell everybody a little bit more about where their fundraising dollars is going to go.
Yeah, you know, first of all, I do want to say that in 2020, it is so important that we continue to support the JDRF and all of their fundraising efforts. And where the fundraising goes to help find a cure, the fundraising goes to help manage and maintain and live with this disease. But something that I'm very proud of, and something that Audrey and I talk about at the start of every year's campaign, is I believe with all my heart we will find a cure for type 1 in our lifetime.
Well, it's a great event to take part in. We're just looking at some visuals as well of past years. As I mentioned off the top there, really some friendly competition, something you can do with the family. You mentioned the 3 ways that people can take part, Jonathan, but in terms of registering, what do people need to know?
Please go to the website, jdrfride.ca. And it is very easy to sign up and register, and then you'll get to choose which one of the 3 categories you'd like to participate in. And as you mentioned, it is a lot of fun to get that competition going with your friends and colleagues, but it'll also be a lot of fun to bring the family into it this year, where maybe in previous years they could not join you at the live event, but to get them to participate at home with you as you're participating. Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier as well, it is so important to have these fundraising dollars. So we want to make sure that 2020 is just as successful as years past. You can register a team of 5 people or more. JDRFride.ca is where you go, and it's on October 22nd. Thanks so much for joining us, Jonathan. Thank you for having me, and have a great day. You too. Right now it's 8:52. We're sitting at 10 degrees. You're watching CP24 Breakfast. We, of course, will be back tomorrow. Coming up at 9 o'clock, let's get you up to